Hi everybody, Tim Hughes here. I'm the CEO and co-founder of DLA Ignite. With me today, I've got Bill Becker, and we're going to be talking about his book. Well, a number of things. This is it, The Job Nobody Dreams of. Inside the greatest career you didn't know about. And if you didn't know, it's about sales. But we'll come on to that. Bill, where can people find you?
You can find me at thejobnobodydreamsof.com or academy.thejobnobodydreamsof.com.
So what was the inspiration behind the book? Because it's a unique book.
Exactly. It's back right after 9/11. I was selling computer training, and I got the state contract for workforce retraining all the people that had been laid off. And I started thinking, you know what? They don't lay off salespeople. Now, that's not true today, and we don't have enough time for that rant. But I just like, you know what? No one grows up wanting to be a salesperson. I wanted to be a veterinarian, and then I found out how long I was going to have to go to college and science and all that stuff. I said, all right, well, I'll be a radio DJ. Then I realized they didn't make any money. So I did the next best thing and went into radio sales and did that for about 16 years, and then went into IT sales after that.
So because I've read lots of sales books, and they're all about the same thing, which is you know, this is how you make a cold call, or this is how you send an email and stuff. But the book's not about that. The book is about why, as an ordinary person that's never thought about sales, you should be a salesperson.
Absolutely. It's not how, it's why.
Yeah.
So I decided when I retired, I wanted to evangelize about sales careers, because I think it's the most equitable career out there. There's no barrier to entry, no education requirements. You don't need experience. And then what's happening in the world today, that, you know, there's not a lot of hope sometimes. That you got two things going on. You have unemployment and you have underemployment. And I could actually make a case that unemployment might be better. And the reason for that is, if you don't have a job, at least you have the hope that, you know, at some point I'm going to get a job and everything's going to be better. But then you find yourself working 40 hours a week, busting your butt, and you're barely making ends meet, or not even making ends meet. And it's like, then you don't have any hope. Sales is the one job that you can go get, even if a company isn't hiring.
Yes.
I love it.
Because what you do in the book is you talk about why you should go into sales, and the fact that you can, and the fact that you say, you know, when I started in sales, I had no experience of sales. Yep. Even though you say, because what people hear, that he's got 16 years radio advertising experience, but you started with no sales experience.
Yeah, and that's not even exactly true, because here's the deal. Everyone's a salesperson. So yeah, when I'm out there dispelling myths about sales and salespeople, that it's not about high pressure, it's not about tricking, it's simply having a conversation. I had this motto at the tail end of my career. I said, and I'll do the clean version, I never sold anything, I figured stuff out. And sales is just a conversation. If you go on a job interview, you sold yourself. If you ask someone out on a date, you sold yourself. And that's all it is. I never convinced anybody in the job I retired from that they needed our service.
Well, instead, we learn sales as babies, because we basically trick our parents into knowing when we want to be fed.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
So it, you know, in a way, sales is natural to us. But the point of the book is not to be directed at salespeople. It's directed at non-salespeople to say, hey, have you thought about this? Because actually, this is a really good career that you could get into.
It's again, he's talking about hope. There's things going on out there that is just like, you know what? I didn't go to college. I wish I'd done that. And it doesn't matter what you're doing today. And part of the message is, okay, well, Bill, you convinced me. How do I go about doing this? Well, you're not going to apply online. You're not going to talk to HR. You're not going to talk to a recruiter. Why? Because you don't have any sales experience.
Yeah.
Instead, you find the person, ideally the person you would be working for. And there's multiple ways to do that. You've got to live in LinkedIn. is a great way to start. But eventually you either get in front of them face to face, virtually, through a video. You go, you know, Tim, this is what's going on in my life. I made some mistakes, or I didn't take advantage of some opportunities, and I'm just not happy where I am. And I don't have the kind of future that my family deserves. I did, however, figure out that the future I want and my family deserves is selling your stuff. All you need is one person to sit there and go, holy crap, I just hit the lottery. I can teach them whatever product knowledge they don't know, but they're going to be motivated. And that's the beauty of this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still amazed that I've run podcasts on how to get jobs. And at one point, I said, people go, what, you can ring up the person, the sales director. Yes. Contact the sales leader and say, I want to come and work for you. What sales leader isn't going to be flattered? And I mean, 9 out of 10 sales leaders, 8 out of 10 sales leaders, if you ring them up and say, I want to come and work for you, they'll give you a meeting.
You're definitely going to have a conversation. And that's the beauty of it. Because I talk about, I say, any idiot can cut expenses, but the companies are looking ways to create new revenue. And you're absolutely right. Someone who's in charge of revenue is always looking for new ways to expand either their customer base, expand the different ways that their product or service is being sold. And if you have a way to help them with that, you absolutely will get an audience and more than likely get the opportunity to prove yourself. And then again, you still have to prove yourself, but that's the other part of it is you don't have to worry about tricking or high pressure. You're just having a conversation with people. And AI is not going to replace salespeople. It helps. The internet helps with sales, and I'm talking about professional business to business sales. At the end, people do want to talk to a salesperson.
They do, and going for that interview and saying, I want to come work for you, and being open and saying, I'm open to learn. You're the expert at selling. Tell me, give me all your knowledge, and I'll go out and work hard for you. I mean, many a sales leader will say, we'll give it a shot.
Absolutely. And that's all you can ask, right?
And then you've got a job.
You have a good job. Because again, professional selling and good sales jobs, it's rarely you're looking at anything like a straight commission. No, you're looking at a really good base, some of them with 4-figure base. And then, the benefits, and then you have that peace of mind. It's like, okay, I can concentrate on this new career and go out and find new customers.
And you also talk about, and I guess this is part of the reassurance to people about, okay, what is selling about, and you go all the way through to getting that first meeting, because as you say, this is not about trickery. It's not about we have a saying, I don't know if you have it in the States, which is about the gift of the gab, which is that most people think if you're a salesperson, you have to talk a lot.
You need to listen more.
And actually, we all know it's actually about listening, not about talking. So a lot of people here in the UK and Ireland think that sales is all about talking. So you got to be an extrovert or whatever, which isn't actually the case.
No, not at all.
So, and you do talk through. I need to remind you, you like Pop-Tarts, don't you?
It's been said. It's been said.
And then, so you walk through in terms of giving. So it's about, the book is about, this is how you get a job, but this is how you actually start getting meetings and then run that first meeting.
Yeah, I put in there a 90-day plan of action to help you get started on that. And again, it's nothing earth-shattering, nothing that you might go, oh yeah, this kind of makes sense. Hopefully I would have thought of that.
You're not breaking new ground, Bill, but
not at all.
But the ground that you are breaking is that there aren't any sales books that says, hey, miss or that are out on the street that aren't in sales. You can go and get a job in sales.
Yep. Absolutely. And I've seen it happen. That's one of the reasons I'm so excited about evangelizing about this. You know, one area I never thought I'd be working at when I first started this is people who've been incarcerated. You think it's tough finding a job today. Now, hey, you spent 3 years in prison. How difficult is it now? But again, all it is you want to get in front of someone that can appreciate your motivation. That's the beauty of it. You get in front of a director of sales, sales manager, business owner. You just proved you could get to the decision maker, right?
Yeah.
Just that in itself, you just proved you're a salesperson.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? That you know, if the person in the interview says, "Well, how do you prove that you're in sales?" I say, "Well, I'm sitting here."
Right? Exactly.
You know, I've had the gumption to get off my backside and get a meeting with you, and I'm open to learn from you, and I'm going to go out and I'm going to go and get loads of meetings like this. And
here's the thing for people that's really important to remember. It may take multiple times in reaching that person to get the meeting. Yeah. And that's okay. Because you know what? When you do get in front of them, you go, you know what, Tim? The same tenacity that I used to talk to you today is what I'm going to do to go sell your stuff. Now, I did that when I would, you know, reach out to prospects. It's like, look, I wouldn't continually, you know, reach out to you and send you information that I believe, you know, could be helpful if I wasn't sure I could help you. So the process of multiple reach out and things like that, you actually play that in your favor.
Mm. And that's the word tenacity is an important word, which is that's a skill that salespeople need to have, which is to continually, if you want to go and work at a particular organization and they knock you back the first time, then you go you keep trying and trying and trying.
It's no is just no today. And you know, I always made a joke. I'm a little self-deprecating. It's like, I knew I wasn't going to make any money off my looks or my personality, but I was tenacious as hell. And that's, you know, the biggest sale I ever had in my career was something I went and pulled off the dumpster. And it just, I mean, it's.
So what was that?
What's that?
What you said what's the biggest sale that you made?
It's a software company called Veritas, and they originally had said no to our company. It was run by somebody else, another salesperson, and I knew because I'd seen the email that said they're going with somebody else. That, you know, one of the reasons that they chose not to use us was response to their questions. It's like, that's my wheelhouse, you know, and this is, I talk about this all the time. I got praised every single week of my career, how fast I responded to an email or a phone call. I actually had a separate folder in my Outlook of every time. They were like, you know, little awards to me. And when it first happened, I was like, this is weird, because I thought I was just doing my job.
Yeah.
And then I realized, I'm glad that a lot of salespeople don't do that, because then it's easy for a dork like me to shine.
And so what did you do with Veritas then?
So we ended up having, you know, they responded to the meeting, and then, you know, IT services, it's not a 1 or 2 meeting sale. So, but they built up trust. And that's a big thing here too, because in the end, when you talk about multi-million-dollar sales, they're not talking about your bells and your whistles, your features and your benefits. They're looking for peace of mind.
Yeah.
Because if you buy the wrong TV, you're out a few $100, couple thousand. You buy the wrong grill, you're out a little bit of money. You make the wrong purchase for your company, it could cost you your job.
Yeah.
So they got to feel good. It's like, you know what? This dude, Bill, is going to be in our corner.
I agree. Yeah.
And after that, that's part of like figuring it out, because again, in multi-million-dollar sales, there's multiple streams going on. You're talking to your prospect, you have technical, you have security, you have procurement. And that's where it ends. It's really like, you know, project management.
But if we take it from let's, you know, we walk out into the street and say, you could be a salesperson. They say, well, I've never thought about that. You could be selling something where you're in effect going and saying you're pitching something, and it could be a 1 meeting sell or a 2 meeting sell. It could be very straightforward, couldn't it?
Yeah, it could be whatever. I mean, that's one of the things that we talk about in the book and everything is like, okay, what do I sell? Well, I mean, the first thing to think about is what interests you.
Yeah.
You don't have to. I mean, I'm not big technologist, but I made an amazing career in technology. So it's nice, but it's not necessary. It was cool for me to, represent a company that was on the cutting edge of technology. But in the end, and you don't have to be really, neck deep in the weeds on product knowledge. That's another thing. If I didn't know, I'd say, you know what? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'll have the answer by the end of the day. Or at some point you bring in sales engineers to a meeting, right? So again, it's not like, and I saw this over the years that they would have someone who was a great, database administrator or whatever to sell, training, or it's a different mindset. And it's like, it's more important. It's simply having a conversation, and everything else just falls into place. I'd love to say that, that I was something special, but I'm not.
Well, you've written a book, Bill, so there's something special about you. And
not a great editor.
and the other thing about you, Bill, is that you actually do a lot for homeless people, don't you?
That's the other thing that I wanted to do when I retired, because I'm kind of upset that I even have to deal with this, that the homeless initiatives are a big part for me, and I'm belligerent enough to think that I have some answers, and I can go out. Most nonprofits, they're always trying to raise money, and they got to keep, they don't want to rock the boat. I have some creativity, and I have a mouth, so I can rock the boat and have some ideas that can help. I can't stop people from becoming homeless. That's way above my pay grade. You got to deal with the not in my backyard crowd and all that. But people don't need to be on the street very long. And those are some of the things that we're working on now that, within a year, I would love to see that, hey, people they're only be for a few days. It's complicated, but the overall issue of homelessness. But in 2024, people do not need to actually be on the street very long, and we're talking on different things to do. That it's like, okay, yeah, we did this over here. This absolutely would work, and how do we make it work?
And I think it's great that you're in your. I mean, you say you're retired, but it sounds like you're still got your days full of things. I mean, it's great that you're spending your time doing this in a way that you can help people.
I had so many good things happen to me, through my life. So it's paying it back, and they kind of play together a little bit too. Because although one thing that people are often surprised about, that a good portion of people who are homeless actually have jobs. Here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, 26% of people have jobs. In other cities, 50% of the homeless population have jobs. So and like I said, there's other areas I never thought about was working with people who've been incarcerated. Another area is seniors that, whether they're 40s or 50s, age discrimination is illegal, but it happens every single day.
Yeah.
So why not take advantage of your knowledge and your life experiences to go help sell a product or service?
Absolutely. So, Bill, thank you so much for coming on and talking about your book. So if I was going to buy a copy of this, where would I go?
Go to Amazon.com.
That's where I went. Anyway. And it's a great book about, if you have never thought about sales, you may even know somebody who thinks that they'd be a good salesperson and who'd never thought about it. Again, it will be a good book. And Bill, where can people find you?
thejobnobodydreamsof.com, or my academy is at academy.com. thejobnobodydreamsof.com, and also throw the shout out to my website for the homeless initiatives. It's connectthedots.cc. Connectthedots.cc.
Okay, that's excellent. Thank you so much for coming on and talking about it, Bill. I really appreciate it.